Hey guys, welcome back to 2BFT. We're your hosts Harman and Rav. And today is a bit of a funny day. It's a sad day for America, which means it's a sad day for us all, right, Harman? TikTok has got banned as of today in America.
How greedy, how dare they do that, bro? As soon as we've made one TikTok for 2BFT, they decided, nah, let's get them banned. We can't let them get popular.
But don't worry, everyone. 2BFT is not going anywhere. We're still going to be uploading on Spotify, YouTube. We're still going to be uploading on our TikTok too, but for all our American BFs, you'll still catch us on Spotify and YouTube every Saturday.
Every Saturday, guys. Without question, it will be out there for you guys to listen and let us know what you guys think by using the hashtag 2BFT. If this has affected you, again, 2BFT lawyers for you. Remember that, guys. We can't promise we can get you anything, but we can certainly try to uplift your mood by creating and putting our opinions out there for you.
That's one vision that we've had with our content. In the last episode, I talked about how we're building a community. When things happen like this, that's where, again, it's so important to have a community. We're going to build this community of millions and millions of people, all South Asian creators. Things like this happen. You can use our community. Post on the hashtag 2BFT what you do, what your content is about. Use our community. Use our BFs. We're all here for each other. Yeah, we all consume each other's content. We're not the only ones creating content, right? South Asians in the content space. Me and Harman personally, and even on our 2BFT page, we're active on social media a lot. We follow lots of South Asian ethnic creators in general. Yeah. It's funny, when I had my Cyan Training fitness page, all I'd ever see is like white and black content creators, and it made me feel like, yo, there's no representation for us. As soon as we make a 2 brown for this page that's brown, suddenly I'm seeing loads and loads of these people.
It's like you'll find it if you try and find it, it's there. It's that kind of thing, isn't it? Like,
but it's not shown to you.
It's not. But that's again, that's to do with the algorithms all these social media companies create. They want to show because in mass media, what are we consuming every day? We're consuming TV, we're consuming TikTok, etc. Obviously, TikTok is the topic of conversation today. But I think most often than not, outside of Asia, outside of any kind of country, they'll see the Western majority media. So we'll see Western American TV shows, we'll see British content creators, and over time, a lot of them, majority of them, have been white that have come out from America. Obviously, now the space is getting more diverse. Everyone's being celebrated equally. People are making waves. They're making their mark known in the world, right? So I think that's why now it's basically what you make of it in the community. So now we do have that option available if we go searching for it. Before, maybe you wouldn't have maybe like a fame. Like we spoke about this in one of our previous episodes, like Kumail Nanjiani, the Hollywood actor. Obviously, even now, Hollywood doesn't have that many amazing like A-list celebrities that are Indian or South Asian in general. But Kumail Nanjiani did it. The guy from Harold and Kumar, he did it. The guy from Slumdog Millionaire, I don't know the names, but the guy from Slumdog Millionaire now has done so many movies, and people actually love him. They think he's good looking. They think he makes amazing movies. So it's like times are changing, but we digress. Coming back to the fact of our community and allowing you guys to use our hashtag as well, right? And remember, guys, it's not just browns. It's a community that we're trying to create for anyone to give us their thoughts and opinions on the fact that we're trying to overcome the gaps within communities. We're trying to bring everyone together. We are too brown for it, but we're also too British for it at the same time, right, Rev?
Yeah, I was thinking of another nationality. We're too Brazilian for this. Too Brazilian for this. Yeah, it's coming today as well. Too
Brazilian.
Too what else? Brazil. What's another country beginning with B?
This is showing our level of education from back.
Yeah, our geography is terrible. I did history GCSE, so what the people who did history GCSE
do you know what? Do you know what a really funny story is? For my geography exam in GCSE, I don't know how I got a B, but I went into honestly, that is one exam I was ready to fail. I left half the paper blank. I don't know how they gave me a B. I think it was a very pitiful B. I don't deserve it, but they gave me a B. So I think the most I know about geography, this will tell you actually, Rav. You'll find this funny. I didn't know that Egypt was in Africa until like a year ago. From your
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
From your facial expression, I feel
nah, bro. Oh, I'm not doing this podcast with Harmon anymore, guys. This is the last episode, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be changed to he's too dumb for this.
Too Bolivian for this.
Bolivia,
ooh. Yeah.
Too Bulgarian for this.
Too Belgian for this.
Yeah. All the countries are coming out now. People gonna tell us like, you guys need to go into space, bro. Like we don't claim you in the world now. So
the topic at hand today is the banning of TikTok as of Sunday 19th of January, which is today, as of when we're recording. So Harmon, I'd just like to know that you said when we were planning what we were going to talk about for this podcast that you think that the banning of TikTok is related to racial profiling. Where does that come from? So,
well, to begin with, let's Google the definition for profiling really quickly. Let me just type it in. Tick, 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 tick. So, racial profiling, right? From the Google definition, from the first definition from Google, it says it's based on stereotypical assumptions because of one's race, color, ethnicity, etc.
Isn't that familiar? If you're too BFT, then that should speak volumes to you. But carry on, Harmon. I interrupted you.
No, that's okay. So the reason I mentioned profiling when we were planning this, Rav, I think so. The CEO of TikTok, he's had to appear in front of the American government, the Justice Department, or whatever they do there. And if you have been active on TikTok, if you're quite, online, you'd have seen that when he was being questioned, there's all these senators and mayors and governors. They're asking him really silly questions. They're asking him like, so Mr. Sorry, I don't remember his name, but Mr. CEO of TikTok, are you from the Chinese Communist Party? He's like, no, Senator, I'm Singaporean. Then the next question they asked him is like, so how long have you been affiliated with the Chinese government? He's like, well, Senator, I just told you I'm Singaporean. So in a sense, like the way he appears to them, the way he looks, and obviously Singaporean, like, its cultures are similar. I think there's profiling going on there in terms of the actual people speaking to the man, profiling him as Chinese and just kind of using that ammunition to go off and get TikTok banned. There's questions to him being asked about, like, obviously the whole reason about the concerns about TikTok is the fact that TikTok is based in China, where the data is handled in China. So the American government is worried that they're using TikTok to get people's data to do something with. Now, it's quite funny they say that because, Rav, you use Google, right?
Yes, I do use Google.
How much do you use Google?
I use it like every day. We used it just now.
What about Facebook?
Facebook I use quite a lot. Like, I'd say 2 or 3 times a day.
And how would you feel if you knew the fact that all these companies are using your data and selling it every single day?
I mean, you're asking the wrong person this question because I've known it for a long time. But
exactly. The amount that
it doesn't really affect me. Like, I know that
it's happening. Like
it's you consent to it, right?
Yeah.
When you scroll down on the
Exactly.
thing that no one reads,
Yeah.
and you say I agree, so you do agree to it.
I don't understand, and this is the fact that I was coming up to as profiling, that if all these companies that are based in America are doing this, and Google probably knows more about you than you, and the amount of data that they sell against you to all these companies, like we're speaking about these things right now, and Google's probably listening in, and they'll probably give us an ad about like I don't know, like some product. Like if I kept saying to my microphone right now, I don't know, like blue tack, or super glue. It'll probably show me an ad about super glue somewhere, right? So if all these companies are already doing this, Rav, why are they specifically going after TikTok just because it's based? Okay, There's the data handling protocols that a country has differently. But at the end of the day, Google is probably also selling this data to someone. It's just the fact that they're probably making money from it, right? They're selling the data probably to Chinese officials, or I don't know, some other country to use to sell their products. Because essentially, for all the people that might not know this, the data is being sold to people, companies that want to sell you products. They want to know what your habits are. They want to know if you're a man, if you use a razor blade to shave. They want to give you some company in Bulgaria probably sells razors, and they'll buy that data to find out how many prospects can we sell this to, and we'll give them the ads for that. If Google and all these American companies are doing this, I don't understand why they're trying to ban TikTok. So now that brings us back to the point of profiling. And I think it is because the fact that they have an agenda where they want to own TikTok. They said to the CEO that you need to give us shares of TikTok in America to handle the data in America. So it's all a big game of money, essentially.
And America is also using its size,
yeah,
and how rich it is and how many users it is
yeah.
to kind of give an ultimatum to China, saying if you don't let us have this massive amount of TikTok, we're just going to ban it in our country, so you're going to lose hundreds of millions of customers every single day.
Yeah.
And China's like, you know what, you can do it if you want. I'm not bothered.
Well, he's had to comply, the CEO. He's had to comply, right? And I think it's a loss for the consumers, because at the end of the day, the users are the ones that are benefiting from it. There's loads of people that rely on it financially. There's so many creators that make money off of it. What are we doing? We were trying to get onto obviously we're in the UK. It's not going to affect us yet. But 150 million odd people in America that are not going to be able to access the app anymore. That's so many people off the app. Also, people have started to flock to a new app. It's called Red Note. It's completely based in China. So now the population split, so maybe everyone's going to try and go to Red Note. So the people making money off TikTok now here in all the other countries, they're going to have to go on Red Note to follow through. So it's like, it's a lose-lose battle for us as consumers, but it's a win-win for them, because no matter what happens, even if they stayed on, everyone in these government officials or whatever, they'd be the ones making all the money and profits from all these things.
Yeah, all the people that are just not using TikTok anymore are just going to go to Red Note, and they're still going to make the money and probably use your data in exactly the same way. Yeah. So, like you said, it is a loss to the end users and the consumers. It's not much of a loss for these companies, because TikTok is just one route to advertising. You still got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify even. And
Facebook, Instagram are owned by the same guy.
Yeah.
So who's benefiting at the end of the day? America's benefiting from it regardless of what happens. If they get TikTok to agree with them to sell TikTok, they make money. If they don't, America's still making money because Mark Zuckerberg is making benefits off Instagram and Facebook.
Do you know what, Harman? I'm still at a loss though, because say if TikTok does have these data handling, discrepancies or whatever, I still think that it's because the CEO of TikTok is Asian and there's so much racial profiling going on. Even if it was strictly data handling, why ask that question of, are you part of the Chinese Communist Party or you're Singaporean? If you are committing data handling breaches or you're not handling data correctly, it shouldn't matter whether you're an Indian or black or white or Chinese or Russian or whatever it should be. So what's the significance of asking that question? I don't really understand where that comes from.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to, I think you should let us know how what your experiences are with this. Have you ever been told to go back to where you came from as a person, as an Asian brown man that's been born in the UK?
Oh yeah, loads of times. And it's funny because I was born here, because this is my home. If I was to go back where I came from, I'm gonna go back to the hospital down the road. That's where I came from. People do use race in a certain sense to kind of pass people off and use it as ammunition to control them. In a sense, like the CEO of TikTok has to comply now, like you said, with the US, because what's he going to do otherwise? So I think lots of us at 2BFT, all of our BFs, will find themselves in a similar situation where you guys, wherever you go, you will always be judged for your race. And we're not here at 2BFT to, try and solve that issue or try and say that it's bad, good or bad or whatever. But we want to bring attention that this is prevalent wherever you go, especially in westernized Western countries. So even at the highest echelons of society, we've got billionaires, TikTok CEOs. They're still getting 2BFT'd, bro.
2BFT.
Yeah, they're still getting 2BFT'd.
Yeah.
So even in a sort of racial profiling incident that I've had as a normal guy, growing up in a normal school in the UK, you're telling me that even at billionaire status, you're still getting the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
How I felt was, I felt outcasted a lot in a country that I called home too. Can only imagine what this CEO is thinking to himself right now, that even as someone, guys, he's made an app that has like 1 billion active users every single day. Like, he's very well accomplished. He's given a platform for so many people to make tons of money. And guys, for these platforms to make money, for all the content creators to make money, your data has to be used in some sort of way. The algorithm will push our podcast out to people who want representation for South Asians or ethnic minorities.
And how do they get that data? Like,
they get that data somehow by looking at what you look at. If you're a person and you listen to podcasts about business or finance or, I don't know, makeup or whatever, there's no point Spotify pushing you our podcast if that's not the content that you consume.
So they will collect that.
There has to be data there for everyone
to match with something.
To match with someone, right?
Yeah.
So these apps are built with these algorithms that when you go on the app, you get shown the content that you want to see. If these data handling protocols didn't exist, you would not be connected with any of the creators that you know and love so much. You'd never be able to see people from your hometown or home country or people of your same color or race or religion. And so it, in a way, just like we're creating a community of 2BFT, all of our BFs, the CEO of TikTok, even Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, they've all created massive communities for people to get together. So we're essentially trying to do the same thing, right, Harmon? And I stole your word, essentially, too. I've turned into Harmon now, guys. When we record the podcast, Harmon put a ban on me saying things like that and so. And then I was saying to Harmon, you're banned from saying the word essentially. Harmon will say something, he'll be like, so essentially, Rav, this is what's going on.
So essentially, Rav, I'm actually an avid supporter of TikTok being in our lives. Do you know why? I feel like
you love the TikTok shop, that's why, and because everything's so cheap. That's why, bro.
Well,
I do as well, man.
That's one reason. But I've just realized the fact that TikTok has this algorithm, right, that pushes your content, as you were saying earlier, like they collect the data, they'll push the content out to the appropriate audience. TikTok has allowed all different types of creators, and not just people that are the ethnic majorities, like let's say a white creator will get pushed out to everyone. It's made it so that that'll happen if someone's a general content creator about, like, they just make funny skits, they'll get pushed out to everyone. But if your niche, for example, I followed this one guy, and his niche was the fact that he was educating people about the Arab culture. Where is his content being pushed out to? TikTok managed to push it out and make a community of people that want to know about Arab culture. It is a shame that governments feel the need and they feel like they have the right to take that away from people. And no wonder that all these Americans are moving over to this Chinese app called Red Note, is the fact that they're retaliating against the government because none of them really want TikTok to go. I understand that some parents might think that, the TikTok generation is,
brain rot.
It's brain rot, it's useless. But if you use a platform correctly, there is so many communities and educational content and entertaining content there that not only does it educate you, but it also entertains you, and also everyone has a place there.
Yeah, you can literally build a community doing any niche. I know a person who built up a massive community and makes like 10k a month in like selling courses and stuff, from how to treat and care for your pets using herbs and plants and stuff like that, and not store bought medicine.
That's crazy.
Which is a crazy niche, right?
Yeah.
When you look at fitness, is one of the biggest niches
Yeah.
in the. I won't say niches. This is like a massive industry, right?
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
Gymshark. Gymshark was, the business of one of the youngest billionaires ever.
Yeah,
I think something
Yeah.
like that, or he is the youngest billionaire
I
ever.
think so.
Don't quote me on that guy. There's some guy in the comments saying like, "Oh, the youngest billionaire is actually this person."
He's actually my neighbor.
Yeah, he's actually
my neighbor Joel from like this company.
Yeah, but one of the billionaires, right? And it's funny, Ben Francis, CEO of Gymshark, founder of Gymshark. I don't know if you see. He was an Aston University
He's
graduate.
from Birmingham. Yeah,
he's from Birmingham, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so TBFT, shout out Ben if you listen to this.
Yeah, he's gonna
I
listen.
doubt, I doubt he's gonna be listening. But yo, Ben, keep your Saturdays nice and free so you can listen to the podcast. Yeah, and then maybe sponsor us with some Gymshark clothes. Harman's gonna use it for his fashion page. Now I'm gonna put it all on my fitness page.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do 100 kg bench in my new Gymshark.
I'll make my Gymshark
t-shirt.
Sponsor
Yeah.
us.
I feel like when I put out content, it will get pushed out to so many people. The people who don't want to connect, or that's not their thing, they'll scroll past it, and you won't get those views. But of the 2, 3, 4, 5, 50, 60 views you get, are people who do want to connect with what you're doing worldwide as well. It's so difficult, especially now, even when things like COVID happened and stuff like that. At university, I couldn't be that social because we never went to any of the lectures. Not because I was skiving, but just because uni was shut because it was COVID, right? That's where these apps, especially like Discord and stuff like that, that's where communities online took over. So now when you, so many years later, look to try and take these things away, people have integrated with them. People have these things in their lives. People might not have one person in the real world to connect with, but they know someone online who lives like 5,000 miles away from them, who connects with them perfectly. If you take those things away, you're going to have a massive impact on the world.
Yeah.
And guys, every person's data, you do realize when you buy something off of a website, you put your name and your email, you've given them your data and your phone number. Especially people can send you text message marketing, email marketing for everything. Everyone wonders why they've got 14,000 unread emails in their personal emails, because you've given your data to like how many people. And it's not a wrong thing as well. Everyone does it. I'm not trying to say like to the viewers, never give your phone number or something, or give some dummy phone number to a site. But is it really bad for TikTok to use some of your data for it to profit?
Yeah.
Especially when it gives other creators a platform to make profits and get their products out. So I think it's just mass manipulation going on at the highest level without too much care for how it affects the end users.
Yeah.
But we live in a world politically where we're not really cared about that much, except for us. We care about all you guys. We're building this community. We care about you guys. We care about your thoughts and opinions. Yeah. We've made a hashtag specifically so you can put your opinions and thoughts on there, so we can have a look at them and see what the sentiment is for everyone else. Yeah. Hashtag 2BFT again.
No wonder we decided to call them our BFs in it. Like,
yeah,
we care about them so much. We made them. we're gonna save their number in our phones as BFs. More and more people coming into the generation find that being online is becoming more accessible and easier, because if you can find friends and community that you can relate to, it's why wouldn't you then stay online, access these apps, not care about your data when you face the real world, you go down the road and Joe Schmo is like, shouting at you to go back to where you came from, or every single day in the media it's all about like, we had this much immigration, blah, people are being let in, they're taking our jobs and things like that. I think people are sick and tired of hearing all these things. I think people, in my opinion, people forget the fact that we live on Earth. We created countries, right? It wasn't naturally made for us to split into these sections. I understand there's political, geographical reasons to all these things, and some guy in the comments will be like, "Oh, these guys are getting too political for this." Oh,
Too PFT, too political for this. We're making it a running thing with everything. We're just putting two for this. We just stick whatever in.
They're getting
in the
too
middle.
political for this, but I'm entitled to my opinion, and I feel like there would be less stress in the world if people just did not really care about the fact that there's different countries and different geographical separations. I think also it takes a focus from us as collectives. I'll leave that up to all our BFs to discuss. But at the end of the day, if we go back to the fact that the CEO of TikTok was basically profiled by these senators, I think we can all agree that the world takes a step back every time something like this happens, something like this comes to light, and each person who has had that experience, for example, you, Rav, you had that experience before, I've had that experience as well. Each of us then realizes that, we are living in the real world. Sometimes it breaks that bubble of you being online, and it makes you realize that, yeah, no matter how many TikTok dances and how many samosas how many samosas and chai we can give these people, at some point there's going to be some bad egg that's going to make you realize and bring you back down to reality at the fact that these things happen. These things are happening in real life.
To be honest, Harman, I'd put a counterpoint to your point, because I think that as each of these things happen, more and more people speak out, because we've created 2BFT because of these experiences. Had people not been acting like this, there would be no need for 2BFT to exist. And that could be another community that can benefit a lot of people that would otherwise never exist. So even though what we've seen in the world is that lots of bad things happen, but because those bad things happen, something good always comes out of it. During COVID, there were lockdowns, so many things happened. The world went into chaos, right? Loads of people lost their jobs. On record, we created, well, it's America, because all the statistics are American, right? There's never really any UK statistics, but the USA produced that many new self-made millionaires, like, on record to date, out of COVID.
That is mind-blowing.
Yeah. So out of every single crisis, out of
Yeah.
every terrible situation,
Something
the
good
phoenix always rises from the ashes, right?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those ones where China stood their ground, and you know what? Fair play to your CEO.
Well, TikTok.
Fair play.
Do you know what the fun thing is? It's actually brought the American audience and Chinese audience closer than ever before. There's Americans hopping off onto RedNote, the new app that everyone's hopping onto. They're learning Mandarin and Cantonese so that they can actually get on RedNote. And the RedNote community, they're welcoming everyone. There's people teaching people how to say hello in Chinese, Mandarin. There's people learning how to transform their content to suit that audience. They're accessing that community, and it's brought people, because what are Americans stereotypically, now I'm profiling them, what are they famous for? Not knowing another language. Now everyone is learning the other language because the government is kind of forcing them to jump onto that app, and it's actually really cool to see that. You are right. It's almost like it's a triumphant ending. So something has good come out of this. People are now accumulating themselves into another person, in another culture, something that we have never seen before. So it's actually, now that I think about it, something good is coming out of it. I understand it's a sad time at the moment, but we have something triumphant coming out of it.
We're going to share ideas and discussions, and we're going to talk about issues. We are going to, as a collective, bundle all of our knowledge together. We can become a powerhouse, guys. We can become an absolute powerhouse. And these things can stop happening. We build a community big enough. When you build a community, you can have it the way you want it, right?
Yeah.
Why not use ours? We've started the process. You guys join in. Help build it up.
And do you know what? I know exactly what's going to happen in the future, Rev. We're going to get all these BFs. All these people that become our BFs, right? Because I feel like it's going to happen. I feel like all the people that relate to us, they're going to come together, form the community with us. The next people to appear in front of Congress is going to be us. They're going to be asking us questions. Are you Indian? You're like, no, I was born in the UK. I'm British Asian. And they're like, so are you related to the Indian National Party? We're gonna be the next one to get profiled, and then our community is gonna have to move to somewhere else.
Yeah, it's just our new country is gonna be called 2BFT, guys.
Yeah. Oh my
And
god.
everyone's welcome.
Imagine a country just called 2BFT, and then everyone's like, oh, what's the name? What's the reason for this?
Too big for this.
Because our community is gonna get so big, we're gonna need a whole country for ourselves. Hopefully. God willing.
Yeah, let's make a Patreon. Everyone can donate and help us buy an island.
Yeah.
So we can,
Oh my god. This is like Mr. Beast level. Like,
Yeah.
I bought an island to support my community.
Yeah, if you guys enjoyed the podcast, like, share, comment, use the hashtag 2BFT as always. Share your thoughts, opinions. What do you think about TikTok getting banged?
Banged?
Yeah, get banged.
That is worrying.
TikTok. What do you guys think of TikTok getting banned? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you 2BFT?
Or
are you 2PFT?
2PFT, yeah.
Are you 2CFT? Are you
Yeah.
2DFT?
What about KFC?
Yeah, are you 2KFC? FT?
Let's go get some chicken after this.
Yeah, I'm starving.
Yeah.
Shall we leave it there?
Yeah. And guys, also, don't forget, you can also let us know what you guys think about our hot takes on this. You know, we're not the be all and end all of all these opinions. Let us know what you guys think about what we've said. We might not always be correct, but you know, it's our opinions and what we think of it. If we share the opinions, maybe you'll educate us, we'll educate you. So let us know what you guys think as well about us.
Take care, guys. 2BFT.
2BFT. I want a big chicken sizzler sandwich, you know.